Some people spend their entire lives chasing money, and it runs from them like water slipping through their hands. Others, money seems to find them. Opportunities line up at their doors. Success flows into their lives like a river with no end. Why? It's not luck. It's not chance. It's not even just hard work. Napoleon Hill discovered a hidden key, a mindset, a law, a truth of life so powerful that it divides the world into two groups, those who forever chase and those who attract. And the truth is this: money does not come to those who want it. It comes to those who align their mind, their will, and their actions with unshakable clarity. This is the hidden key. Story 1. The man who refused to quit. Picture a young man standing outside a factory in the cold. His shoes are worn. His pockets are empty. He's been turned down from 20 jobs already. His name, Daryl. Daryl grew up believing life was unfair. His father died when he was 10. His mother worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table. By the time Daryl was 18, he had no money, no connections, and no guidance. Everywhere he went, he was told the same thing: no experience, no position available. Sorry, try again later. And each no broke him a little more inside. But then something shifted. One night, exhausted and hungry, Daryl stumbled across an old book in a second-hand store. It was Think and Grow Rich, and one line burned itself into his mind: every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. That night, Daryl made a decision. He would not quit. He would not stop. Instead of chasing jobs, he began learning skills. Free online courses, volunteering, practicing late at night. He told himself, if I bring enough value, money will have no choice but to find me. Months later, when another factory said no, Daryl didn't collapse. He asked a different question. What problems can I solve for you right now without a paycheck? They gave him a trial. He solved problems they didn't even know they had. Within 3 months, they hired him permanently. Within 2 years, he wasn't just an employee, he was running his own side business, helping factories cut costs. Daryl discovered the hidden key. Money flows to those who refuse to quit, to those who shift from begging for opportunities to creating them. Story 2. The woman who rebuilt her life. Her name was Maria. She once had everything: a stable marriage, a comfortable home, a secure job. But life doesn't ask for permission before it breaks you. Her husband left her company downsized, and Maria found herself at 40 years old, standing in a grocery store, counting coins to buy bread. She felt invisible, forgotten, finished. For weeks, she sat in her tiny apartment, drowning in self-pity. But one day, staring at her empty fridge, Maria whispered to herself, "This cannot be the end of my story." She remembered something she'd heard years ago. Riches do not respond to wishes. They respond only to definite demands backed by definite plans. So Maria made a plan. It wasn't big, it wasn't flashy, but it was hers. She loved baking, always had, so she started with one small step. She baked 3 loaves of bread and sold them to her neighbors. Day 1, 3 loaves. Day 2, 5. By the end of the month, she was selling out every day. But here's what changed her fate. She didn't just bake bread, she listened. She asked her customers what they wanted, what they craved, what they missed. Soon, she was making pastries, cakes, cookies, and her small kitchen became a local legend. 2 years later, Maria owned her own bakery, not because luck came to her, not because someone handed her money, but because she demanded life to give her another chance and backed it with relentless action. Maria's story proves the truth. Money doesn't chase the desperate, it chases the decisive. Story 3. The Boy Who Believed. Then there's Jamal, a boy from the rough side of town. Violence on the streets, poverty in the homes. No one believed in him, except Jamal believed in himself. He carried around a notebook where he'd write his dreams. He'd write, "One day I will speak to thousands. One day I will inspire millions. One day money will flow to me because of the words I speak." His teachers laughed, his friends mocked him, even his family told him to be realistic. But Jamal refused to shrink his vision. Every night he practiced speeches in front of a cracked mirror. He studied great leaders, memorized lines, and spoke with fire until his voice grew strong. When he finally got the chance to speak at a small community center, only 10 people showed up, but he spoke as if 10,000 were listening. Word spread, more people came. Soon, schools invited him, then companies, then entire conferences. By the time he was 25, Jamal was being paid more for one speech than his parents had ever earned in a month. What was his secret? It was the hidden key Napoleon Hill discovered. You don't wait for belief from others. You create belief within yourself until the world has no choice but to follow. Money flows to belief, to certainty, to unshakable self-faith. Look closely at these stories. Daryl, Maria, Jamal, 3 different lives, 3 different struggles, but one shared truth. They stopped chasing money, and they started embodying the mindset that attracts money. Because here's the secret. Money is not paper. Money is not coins. Money is energy. And energy is attracted to clarity, to courage, to persistence. If you are lost, money avoids you. If you are desperate, money hides from you. But if you stand with conviction, clear in your purpose, obsessed with your mission, relentless in your pursuit, money cannot ignore you. This is why it flows to some and not to others. Some people will live their entire lives chasing money, running after it, begging for it, praying for it, and yet it slips away like water through their fingers, while others seem to attract it effortlessly, as if money itself seeks them. This is no accident. This is no luck. It's law. And Napoleon Hill discovered it over 100 years ago. A hidden key. Story 4. The man who lost his fortune because he lost himself. Let me tell you about David. David was brilliant, top of his class, sharp, driven. By his late 20s, he was making more money than most people see in a lifetime. The cars, the penthouse, the lifestyle. But inside, he was hollow. Every decision he made was driven by fear. Fear of losing what he had. Fear of falling behind. Fear of not looking successful enough. So he worked harder. He took risks he didn't understand. He drowned himself in parties, alcohol, and empty relationships to silence the voice inside telling him something was missing. And then it happened. The crash. The business deals fell apart. The markets turned. And in less than a year, David lost everything. But here's the truth. It wasn't the market that ruined him. It wasn't bad luck. It wasn't competition. David lost everything because he had no inner anchor, no definiteness of purpose, no vision beyond money itself. Napoleon Hill warned us, when riches come quickly, they are never permanent. David had money, but he never developed the mindset, the wealth consciousness, the faith, the discipline, the clarity of vision. So when the storm came, he collapsed. Here's what he told me years later when he finally rebuilt his life, not as rich as before, but far wealthier in wisdom. I thought money would fix me, but money only magnifies who you are, and I wasn't ready. That is why money flows to some and abandons others. Because money is not the root, mindset is. Think about it. If your mind is chaotic, your money will be chaotic. If your spirit is empty, your bank account will eventually reflect it. Money is not energy in paper. It is energy in motion, and it flows toward order. It flows toward clarity. It flows toward vision. You don't chase it, you attract it by becoming the kind of person money feels safe with. That is Napoleon Hill's hidden key. Story 5. The woman who attracted fortune by building herself. Now let me tell you about someone very different. Her name is Maria. Maria grew up in poverty. Her family lived in a small apartment where sometimes dinner was just bread and tea. She watched her parents struggle, and she made a promise to herself. One day, I'll break this chain. But unlike David, Maria didn't start with brilliance or luck. She started with nothing. No money, no connections, no head start. What she had was discipline, faith, and a relentless vision of a better life. At 18, she worked 3 jobs just to pay her college tuition. When others were partying, Maria was reading. When her friends slept in, she woke up before sunrise, whispering affirmations that one day her life would change. People laughed at her, called her delusional, told her to be realistic. But Maria understood what Napoleon Hill meant by a burning desire. She wrote her goals every night. She visualized the life she wanted. She studied personal development, business, psychology, anything that could sharpen her mind. Years later, Maria started a small business. It failed. But unlike David, she didn't collapse because she wasn't building her life on money. She was building it on mindset. So she tried again and again. By her early 30s, Maria owned multiple businesses. She wasn't just financially free, she was emotionally free, spiritually free. And when I asked her what the secret was, she said something I'll never forget. Money is not something I chase, it's something I magnetize. And the magnet is who I choose to become every day. Maria became the kind of person Napoleon Hill described in Think and Grow Rich. Someone with definiteness of purpose, faith in herself, persistence through every storm, and a burning obsession for growth. That's why money flows to people like Maria, not because of luck, but because of law. Practical life lessons, Napoleon Hill style. So what does this mean for you? It means you must stop obsessing over how do I get money, and instead ask, how do I become the kind of person money trusts? Here are the steps. Clear, simple, powerful. Define your purpose. If you don't know where you're going, money will never follow you. Build discipline. Wealth doesn't flow to impulse. It flows to structure. Control your mind. Guard your thoughts. Your mind is a magnet. It will attract what you feed it. Persist through failure. Every setback carries the seed of a greater comeback. Develop faith, not just faith in money, but faith in yourself. Faith that no matter what storm comes, you will rebuild. This is the hidden key. This is why money flows to some and not others. So I'll leave you with this. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. It will flow to you when you become worthy of holding it. When your vision is clear, when your spirit is strong, when your discipline is unshakable. That is Napoleon Hill's timeless truth. So ask yourself today, are you chasing money? Or are you becoming the kind of person who attracts it? because the answer will shape your destiny. Subscribe to True Lines Insight, because this isn't just a channel, it's a war on mediocrity, and we're winning it, one mindset at a time.